Thank you for joining the Once Changing the World, which is India's first future tech meets sustainability podcast. And today I have with me Mr. Paul Gordon, who's the CEO at Mubert AI. He's also a musician and a DJ who's working in techno, IDM, and breakbeat genres. He's the chief executive officer at Mubert AI, which is an AI-powered text-to-music generator. Mubert AI uses AI algorithms to generate unique, high-quality music that can be tailored to specific moods and styles, enabling media creators to add original music to the projects without requiring them to have any prior musical expertise. So, Paul, really appreciate you taking time and being part of the podcast. Yeah, so can you start with explaining what Chat GPT is? You know, the chat generative pre-trained platforms are.
Hi everyone. So basically Chat GPT is very good large language model. It's like scraped all the internet and trained on a significant amount of data. So and it's made by OpenAI, who are like leaders in this space right now. So Chat GPT, I think that it's a great assistant for people, first of all. So because with this language model, you can do whatever you want in the text format, but also in music format and with image format also. For example, Chat GPT can generate you a MIDI track with notes that you can use in your DAW. Or it can generate you a prompt for a mid-journey or stable diffusion or different neural networks that can generate images. So if you don't understand how to make a good prompt to these image generators, just ask ChatGPT, because it trained also on this kind of prompts. So I think that it's a revolutionary product, and of course, everyone wants to integrate this tool in the work, in the life. And I think that in year or two, similar tools will appear for different formats, for video, for music, for, like different interactive content, maybe like improved models for developers that can be used for writing code, something like this. But basically ChatGPT is very good.
That these models have the capability to put in a couple of prompts and voila, you have your text to image, text to video, text to 3D, text to search, and so on and so forth. And you guys are doing text to music. And you mentioned something about, how ChatGPT also takes MIDI files, which can be then put into a DAW, a digital audio workstation. From there, you can, create your music. Can you tell us a bit more about the technology behind Mubert AI? How does this text to music, how does that work?
Yeah. In Mubert, we have like a large data set of different sounds from different genres, moods, activities, like styles. And we have all them tagged. So each sound has like different tags, key, tempo, its function in the arrangement, its genre, so we have a large quantity of different tags, different characteristics, features for the sounds, and we have this text transformer also that can translate text prompts to some kind of vectors for a neural network. And also in this latent space, we have in this data set, we have like all of our tags that we use in our system. And when someone when our users like type some prompt, it like converts to this space in this data set, and like nearest sounds, nearest combinations of sounds that we can take. So we use these sounds to generate a track. So for example, if we have like techno and like dance and some kind of subgenre in the text prompt. So also we have these tags in our data set. So we can take corresponding sounds and generate the music. So basically it's not a raw audio synthesis like in the Google Music LM or OpenAI Jukebox. They use these like large models to generate audio from basically noise, like with different diffusion models also, like refusion. Yeah, but we use original sounds and some of derivative variations of these sounds. And yeah, our prototype text-to-music interface works like that. So first of all, we have like large number of different sounds, and we have this text network that can find them through the text system.
Could you like elaborate a little bit more on what's the training data set that you're using? I mean, because when you've created this Mubert AI, your text to music generation platform, it's able to create different genres of music. So what's the data set that was trained on?
It's a fully ethically sourced data set that we created because we don't have copyrights to use like copyrighted music actually. Yeah, so we decided to collect our own sounds, and we are working with musicians and sound designers who uploading their sounds, their different stamps to our special platform. And we are buying out these samples. So for each sound in this data set, we have an agreement, license agreement with the musician. And yeah, so we have sounds like in different genres in this data set. I think that we can name it like different data sets, some smaller, some bigger. But for example, we have a lot of different sounds and moods and keys, tempos for ambient, for house, for low hip hop music, which are popular genres. And also we have like smaller data sets for like not so popular genres like industrial techno, for example, or dark ambient, or I don't know, future pop. So yeah, and all of these sounds. So we bought it from musicians, and also now we are developing revenue share system. So, for example, if musician wants to like monetize their unfinished demos or some sample packs or different sounds, they can upload these sounds to our Mubert Studio platform and license it to using our AI. So, for example, we can use these sounds for generation of new music, for generation of new sounds. So, for example, with different interpolations, morphing, and other features that allow us to get some new sounds from existing. For example, you can upload the bass part or keyboard part and tag it with like different tags like key, tempo, and stuff, and license it for us. and we can use it in original form, so as it is, and also we can use it like in some derivative forms, like make variations with the help of AI. But you will get revenue shares from all of these versions of the sound that you uploaded. So it actually solves the problem with copyrighted material, and also with this ethical side of taking out the jobs from musicians, because we are giving them new opportunity actually to get paid.
The problem with all the generative AI stack currently is, at least the text to image stack, I think most of the data sets being trained on what's available, which is on the net. And these are from like really, really high value artists, and there voila, it's been trained, and then nobody gets credited. And you saying that you taking the approach where the data set that you're training on, there's a partnership where the musician gets kind of a revenue share for the data being trained on. So which is very, very cool. Applaud you for that effort, because I guess there is, I think we're sitting in a fantastic point of time where this convergence of technology is going to add a lot of benefit to the creative industry. But I think, if the right human first approach has been missing. So great that you're looking and approaching the platform to issue at least the fair compensation idea for the artist. Would you like to elaborate a little bit more on maybe the data size, which it was trained on, and talk a little bit more about Mubert AI. What are its capabilities at this point in time? When I do a text to music generation, what are the different genres that can do? What are the time limit? Maybe elaborate on that, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so comparing to different large data sets, our is not as small, but not that large. So we have 2.5 million of our own sounds, but it's still a big number. We use, so for example, OpenAI Jukebox trained on 1,200,000 tracks from the YouTube without any licensing. Yeah, so it's comparable, but they used like master tracks, and we have like stems, which give us more flexibility, because we can generate not only like master tracks where all instruments mixed, but also stems and samples. So because we have this data, we have our proprietary algorithm that based on C++ and Python, like different scripts that can compose and arrange tracks and like different types of musical content. For example, we can generate jingles, we can generate loops, mixes, and tracks. And so we have like different approaches for each type. So our arrangement and composition engine actually based on like heuristics algorithms. So we found out that it's easier now without this good technology that can detect like different parts in the track to keep track consistent. So we just wrote a lot of different rule-based scripts that can like create variations from the sounds. But we have like different models on different stages. So for example, we have a model for mastering, so we can finish the sound of the track with different features. So also we have a big model for choosing these sounds. So for example, we have a mobile application also, and we have like and dislike buttons in it. So each user can create their own data set. So some reflection of their music taste with like and dislike button. We are saving this information again in some vectorized space. And when user hits generate, we can choose the right sounds based on their data set. Also, we have a machine learning based drum machine that we now are preparing to release in production. Also we have like search by reference AI feature. So we can like find, so for example, user can upload a track or give us link to some YouTube track, for example. And our algorithm can find similar sounds in our dataset and generate something similar to this reference track. So we have a lot of different algorithms, some based on machine learning, some on heuristics model, but we have a server-based infrastructure, and it's important for us to give results more quickly. We don't want to use heavy models like they used in OpenAI or Musicalm for now, because they are very slow. We created our own algorithm that can generate tracks very fast, because we use like this Python and C based script.
Lovely. How cool is that, Paul? So you're saying, I mean, at this point in time, I mean, what your model can do is create jingles, create music lengths of a specific duration, and you said that it can also do mastering. Maybe elaborate on that. What do you mean by that? It's like, supposing if I'm a musician, I throw in the song. Does it master out the song? Do you mean by that? What do you mean by drum machine? I mean, this program would create a drum track for you if I'm if I'm a musician, if I want a song to be composed in a certain pattern, certain groove, certain meter, I just kind of put in the prompt and it would create the entire drum track. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we don't have this text to music implementation in this drum machine. It like can generate drum parts. Yeah, but to tune it with text prompt, we need some time. Yeah. But actually what it can do, so for example, you can upload a percussion track or some drum track. So our script can detect one shots in this loop and cut it and make different variations of these loops, but with different rhythms, but with the same sounds, but with different groove, with intensity and something like that. Or for example, in different genre. So if you like some sound, but like sound in some loop, but you want to change the genre, so for example, you can use it for it. We will roll out this drum machine later. I forgot to mention the duration of the track, like
Right.
maximum duration now is 25 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, so it works good with like mixes type of track. So when you have like different tracks in one file, mixed like in a DJ style, and it also works great with like different training soundtracks or meditation soundtracks. So background music, I mean. So, for example, you can generate 25 minutes ambient and sit in meditation.
When do you think Chat GPT would be able to create music in the lines of Beethoven, Bach, or which is like completely seamless and possibly maybe even lyrics into it? When do you think that could happen?
I think like in 2 years, because now OpenAI and Google have a great technology, but it's not scalable, and so it's actually ready to use but they have to license all the content in their datasets, which is actually pain for them. Because I think that it's like a real reason, because they didn't make a commercial project from Musical or Jukebox by now, because they don't have rights. And also, it's a very heavy models that can generate tracks for hours. And I think that in these next 2 years, we will have like, first of all, we will solve any legal issues that will allow us to use different data that we want to use. And also, we will get new models that are more scalable, that we can use like for millions of users, because like text is very light, and images also have small sizes, file sizes. But with video and music, it's harder. So yeah, and I think that main work now is about scalability, not the relevance. So because we will improve relevance, we know how to make it, but also we have to understand how to use these raw audio synthesis models without any heavy applications on like front ends of some website.
Right, right. So you mentioned about copyrights. Obviously, I mean, when humans have created content for the longest time, and there's a certain IP that's attached to the content that they create. If maybe elaborate on what would that mean in this 2 years. You mentioned by in another 2 years that these machines will be able to create songs, possibly or in the lines of the world's finest creators, that there'll be more and more synthesized content. And what happens to human creators? Would there be like some kind of advice to content creators out there? So three questions. I mean, in the role of copyright, what happens to human content creators in the next 2 years, and advice?
Yeah, so I think that with this human copyright stuff, like see these AI tools as like some kind of scary robot stuff, but actually it can be used as a tool. People have initiative, so they have intentions to create art and create some products. So AI can create something only when you asked him. They know about historical context. They have some feelings, and AI don't know anything about your feelings, about some context, some circumstances around you. So I think that AI can't, for now, AI can't be an copyright owner, as some lawyers can. And yeah, about some professions, about some like jobs. So it's a lot of discussions now. But I think that it's more important to like just try to use this AI in your work. So, for example, I already use Chat GPT for some purposes. So, for example, I can rewrite my work email in some tone of voice that I want, or help me to like create some post with structure for the post or something. My girlfriend is copywriter, and she's also using Chat GPT in your professional work already. So she can't lose her job, because she have more time now to like do more job actually, write more texts.
I think that that's such a great perspective to how you look at change, because I guess when change happens, human nature is always to shy away from the change, and I think we're sitting in such an awesome point of time that these technologies can be those tools, or maybe it'll be able to augment us to create better things, and it'll also give us more free time. So it'll also possibly democratize stuff. So far I think creating music or creating images was only, if you had spent some time understanding it, learning it, that's when you could possibly write a song, or create an image. But today, this tool, which is generative tools, has the possibility to kind of just put in a couple of prompts, and you have your text and your image and a video. So I think if we look sitting at a fantastic point of time, like you said, creators need to understand that there's a great opportunity over here. Rather than shying away from these kind of technologies, you need to latch onto these technologies and better use that tool to create better, more better music. Would you like to talk about your licensing model? What's the pricing point for this thing? And you launched, and this is a global product at this point in time. It's available all around the world, right?
Actually, we have several types of licensing. So first of all, we have like two markets that we work with. So B2C and B2B. For B2C, we have a product, Mubert Render. So mubert.com/render. You can like type in any prompt and get some results. Some of these are relevant. Some of these you can regenerate to get better results. We are working on it to improve the outputs, the relevance of the output. And in this, with this product, you can like get these types of license, for example, using tracks with videos, like it's like sync license. So users don't have an opportunity to generate the tracks and upload these tracks to some kind of distribution platforms as a like DistroKid, CD Baby, or something like that, self-distribution platforms, or sign it to some labels, because we have all of the copyrights, and it means that we don't allow sub-licensing and redistribution. So users can only use it with some synced video content, or with some podcasts, or with game. So for example, you can generate a soundtrack. We have a free plan, which is called Ambassador, because we are asking people to mention Mubert. So you can generate 25 tracks per month on this plan, but you have to mention Mubert on some kind of annotation, or like a hashtag on the Twitter. And next plan is creator plan for $14 a month. So you have like more tracks limit in this. So on the next professional plan, you also can generate soundtracks that can be monetized in some videos. So for example, you are making a social media video for your client, so maybe your SMM manager or video agency. And we also have business license that covers like a lot of different use cases. For example, TV commercials, film soundtracks. So basically, we have this licensing model as different music stocks. If you want to use this soundtrack, complex content like a movie, so you have to pay more, because it's a lot of different paperwork and stuff like that. Yeah. So, and also we have B2B product, Mubert API, which is for product developers, like different software developers. So you can get API key and documentation how to implement our technology in your software. For B2C Mubert Render, we have subscription from $14 to $199, and so for B2B starts from $200, $500, and after that we can switch to like per request subscription.
Lovely. Paul, really appreciate you taking time and being part of the podcast. We're sitting in a fantastic point of time. I think I said this a couple of points of time, that if we leverage this tool, I think all of us will be able to create a better future. Would you like to leave us with ending notes on the 2 years timelines you mentioned? The 2 years and the 2 years in which these models would be able to create songs which is indistinguishable from some of the finest music composers that we've seen. When we get to that world, which is like possibly 26, I'm saying, what would the world look like, and what would music itself mean by 26? And what are your plans, Mubert's plan for,
Our mission is to democratize music, to clear the barriers between listeners and musicians, give people more creative power. People will find new opportunities to like impress and to engage their audience. And I think that our life will change forever, actually, because for next generation it will like normal thing, but for us it will be like I don't know, it will blow our minds because we didn't have such a creative power. We never did, and so now we are getting it. So it's very interesting because I think that it's a lot of people who are like geniuses in their bedrooms. So, and they don't have technical skills to make music, for example. But they can like maybe they can come up with some great musical ideas, with some very interesting images. And I want to look at their art because now they don't have an opportunity to create it. So I think that we will have a lot of different interesting ideas. So of course, a lot of these ideas will be like some noise, some information without any purpose. But overall, it's good. I think that I hope that musicians will stay musicians. At least myself, I don't want to drop music and use only AI to create it. So because I'm enjoying playing instruments and listening to some interesting people music. So people, audience also visits like real people's, real musicians gigs and DJ sets, and AI will be one of these artists. So actually, like thousands and thousands new musicians are appearing every day and uploading different tracks to Spotify and different services, and creating these one big AI for music or for other formats. It's like creating another million musicians. Yeah.
Lovely. Paul, really appreciate you taking time and being part of the podcast. I think the future is going to be super awesome for those who take the time and leverage these tools. I grew up in a world where humans created all the music. I grew up Doors, I grew up on Led Zeppelin, I grew up on John Bon Jovi, and these awesome musicians. My son, who is an 8-year-old, I think by the time he's around 10 or 15, he'll have synthesized data, possibly AI, which is creating music. He'll have a virtual world, maybe the metaverse, where he gets in and interacts with his friends. More and more people will be empowered. More ordinary people will be empowered, because so far, at least, the biggest stars of the music, largely from the perspective of a music label, they have always pushed forward a good-looking girl or a woman or a band rather than a great content. It's always been a package rather than the content itself. This push towards a human machine collaboration of creating content creates a future of beautiful ways to enhance and experience or make a human's life better. And I hope that Mubert plays that role in empowering and enabling people to going towards music which touches their heart and the soul. So thank you for taking time and being a part of the podcast. And to my listeners, if you like what you see in here, then please press the subscribe button. Until next time, see you guys. Bye-bye. Thank you, Paul. Really appreciate this.
Thank you.